7-1. Well, it's another Wednesday night, and around here, that means another edition of our Prep Player of the Week Award, which is, of course, proudly brought to you by your friends at Toyota. For the last 13 years, honoring the area's finest high school athletes. This week, we're in Harford County, where an athletic legacy is renewed anew. Aberdeen High School is no stranger to amazing athletes. After all, Cal Ripken went there.
Nice hit, center field.
As did University of Maryland All-American linebacker E.J. Henderson, a second-round draft choice of the Minnesota Vikings last year.
Touchdown!
Well, meet the next generation. Quarterback Aaron Henderson. And yes, he is E.J.'s little brother. But Aaron's made a name for himself. He led Aberdeen to a 9-1 record and a berth in the state 2A playoffs. In last week's county championship victory over Havre de Grace, he threw 4 touchdowns in a 37-9 victory.
They say big-time players step up in big-time situations. I mean, I felt that was a big-time situation. The crowd was there. I felt all eyes were on me, and I just had to step up to the plate.
And now the obvious question, his big brother. As E.J. plies his trade in the NFL, Aaron, as mentioned, is carving out his own identity. The comparisons don't bother him. He's sort of become used to it.
I mean, I'm proud of my brother. Don't get it wrong. I mean, if I can accomplish half the things he accomplished in his lifetime, I'll be a happy man. But, I mean, sometimes it's like I wish they would just give me love for being me instead of, always throwing my brother in the mix. But, I mean, you got to take the good with the bad, I guess, in a situation like that.
He's had a lot of pressure. I mean, he's dealt with it, and he's heard it his whole high school career. You know, it doesn't matter what he does. You're not going to measure up to your brother. I mean, and he hears it down in Maryland, too. But tell you what, this year's been a great year for him.
Henderson takes possession of the coveted Prep Player of the Week award. Called the Aloe Light, it's provided by Allogram on Green Spring Drive in Timonium, your wholesale source for trophies and awards. In addition, Toyota will proudly present $100 to the athletic department at Aberdeen High. And all you Maryland fans, listen up. Yes, he is going to College Park, but not necessarily to follow his brother's example down there. No, Maryland was the only school that agreed to let him play quarterback, and that's why he picked the Terps. He'll be there next year. That'll do it for this edition of Sports Unlimited. Thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned for the late edition. We have this week's prep player for you tonight. It may be a name you recognize.
Start of the state tournament. And we start our coverage tonight with the area's top-ranked team, undefeated Eastern Tech, facing 7-1 Western Tech. Class A, Class 2A, North Region, semifinal.
Turn up a little
Eastern
more.
Tech in the orange jerseys. Jamar Davis fakes out everybody and sweeps into the end zone, a 2-yard strike to give Eastern Tech the jump. We're talking about some great hitting on defense. Check out Greg Pinckney here. Lights-out hit on Western's quarterback. Eastern Tech turns the lights out on Western Tech season. Eastern Tech advances to the regional final, 31-6 winners tonight. Harford County, co-county champion Havre de Grace facing Elkton from Cecil County tonight. Havre de Grace in the maroon. This is quarterback Cody Holliday. Takes it on the bootleg up the sideline and flags will fly as the late hit comes. Cody Holliday.
Why isn't Shane in?
On both sides of the ball, Holliday steps in front of the Elkton path here, and that not only turns the ball over, but it seals the win for Havre de Grace. Havre de Grace advances 38-10 over Elkton. Havre de Grace goes to the regional final. Class 2A East Region. Aberdeen 8-1 coming in, facing Edgewood. Aberdeen in blue. That's Aaron Henderson, the quarterback, former Turk star E.J. Henderson's brother, and he is wrapped up and sacked. But that's one guy you probably don't want to make angry. Henderson got his revenge on 4th and goal from the 10. Looks to the end zone, finds Ryan McVeigh for the touchdown. Aberdeen wins by 3, 23-20 over Edgewood. Aberdeen heads to the regional final. Tough night to do anything in short.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Replay Sun High School Sports Show. I'm Sam Davis, sports editor for the Sun. Keith Mills is on assignment, but we still have plenty of highlights for you today, including a lot of state regional semifinal football action and 2 state soccer championships, as well as this week's Athletes of the Week. But first, our Toyota highlights. Monday night at UMBC, the Perry Hall girls soccer team was making its third straight appearance in the state championship game as they took on Eleanor Roosevelt for the 4A title. The Kenwood boys, a team that finished the regular season without a win in its last 7 games, continued its Cinderella story, taking on an Old Mill team that made it to the state semifinals a year ago. Our Keith Mills is here with highlights of those 2 state championship games. Eastern Tech handed Hereford a rare second straight loss, but the Bulls came in with a 7-game win streak. Quick look at Eastern Tech, coached by Mark Mazzaro. They beat Hereford, as I said earlier in the season. 11-0 record coming in for Eastern Tech. On to Steve Turnbull out of that wheelchair. Steve Turnbull's Bulls 8-2, defending Class 2A state champs again on the 7-game win streak. Hereford makes that first big play. Eastern in red. Josh Hager picked off by Rick Mills. That's one of 2 Eastern Tech turnovers in the game. But Eastern Tech's defense was just as stingy. You watch on the next play. Hereford's Dan Fulton on the carry. Number 40, Gregory Pinckney meets him from behind, pulls him down with the tackle. That's one of 5 tackles on the day for Gregory Pinckney. Eastern regains possession, and they're going to score their first touchdown. Watch number 19, Josh Hager, to number 84, Tom Farmer. That's 28 yards for that touchdown. Farmer, 6'4", 195-pounder, played well on both sides of the field. Eastern Tech up at the half, 7-0. Moving on to the second half, and it's going to be Farmer again, picking right up where he left off. He takes the kickoff and nearly breaks it. Watch him here, hurdling players, breaking tackles. Big run. Watch number 1, John Dinkins, flying here. That's the kicker with the tackle. Big hit, takes him down, saves a touchdown. All that work that play was called back for because of clipping. Still, Eastern Tech goes 85 yards in 13 plays. Dietrich Wright scores there from the 1. That's his 27th TD a year. That ties the state record. Eastern Tech is up 14-0 in the third quarter. Eastern defense gets the ball back. Here's Andrew DePaula's pass, and that is going to be picked off by Justin Schaefer. He returns it to the Hereford 25-yard line. That's one of 3 Hereford turnovers on the day. In the fourth quarter, Hereford avoids the shutout, though. Watch quarterback Andrew DePaula again. This time he goes from the left side. 10-yard TD run to get into the end zone. Eastern Tech leads 21-7 with 10 minutes left in the game. Hereford gets it back late in the game, though, with a chance to try to make something happen. Andrew DePaula is going to go back to throw. But watch number 30, Joshua Jones, sacks him, knocks the ball loose, pops up. Jones recovers it and takes it in for what appears to be a touchdown. But just like the kickoff play earlier, this one is called back for a clipping, but still, Eastern runs out the clock. They win the game 21-7. Give Mark Massaro, watch it, he's going to get the Gatorade bath here as he takes his team on to the state semifinals. And Eastern Tech is now 12-0. They're going to play Potomac or PG County in the region final. Hereford finishes the season 8-3. The 2-time defending champs will not have another shot. Friday night at CCBC at Catonsville, it was a classic matchup in the 3A North Region Final featuring a Bel Air team that loves to pass and a Randallstown team that doesn't give up much through the air. The Bobcats featured quarterback Drew Berry with nearly 1,400 yards passing, 20 touchdowns, and just 4 interceptions, while the Rams countered with the University of Maryland-bound Christian Varner and Jamari McCullough, who have combined for 10 interceptions on the season. This game is played at Catonsville Community College. You see Bel Air in the white. They're back in the state playoffs for the first time in years. Randallstown looking for its 3rd region championship in the past 6 years. Bel Air featured junior quarterback Adam Berry. You see him here. He's number 10. He passes here to Willie Bell. Berry came in with over 1,400 yards passing, as we stated earlier. On the next play, you're going to see Berry looking for his twin brother, Adam, who's one of his favorite receivers. But watch Randallstown's Jamari McCullough come in and pick it off. Great catch there, and he returns it 38 yards for a touchdown. That is the 5th time this season McCullough has returned an interception for a touchdown. Randallstown leads 6-0 late in the first quarter. Berry leads the Bobcats back, though, with this 10-yard TD run. Berry rushed for 52 yards on 10 carries, and Bel Air led 7-6 at the half. We're going to see a quick replay of that play there again with Berry going around the right side for this touchdown to give his team a 7-6 lead at the half. Not a lot of luck through the air for Berry, but he did a good job running the ball with the 52 yards on 10 carries. And the second half, Bruce Riley's Bobcats watch Jamari McCullough again make another big play for Randallstown. Marcus McLean is going to take this pass and throw it 39 yards to McCullough for a touchdown. Randallstown leads 12-7 midway through the third quarter. And again, Randallstown's going to get a good crowd here by Randallstown. Randallstown gets it back. They score again. This time up the middle. Marcus Hyman, number 5, 5-yard touchdown run. And the Randallstown Rams lead 18-7. We're going to watch Bel Air's Adam Berry again. This kid does not quit. This team does not quit. They don't give in. Adam Berry brings Bel Air back. A 2-yard quarterback sneak. Berry was held to 83 yards passing, but he did score 2 touchdowns. You saw the second one right there. Randallstown leads 18-15, but that's how it will end. Randallstown wins 18-15. They're the Class 3A region champs for the 3rd time in 6 years. Randallstown now 10-2. They are headed for a matchup with Lackey for the state 3A semifinal next weekend. Bel Air finishes at 7-4. All right, still much more to come here on the Replay Sun High School Sports Show. Up next, we're going to have this week's Athletes of the Week in here in studio.
Brought to you by your Toyota.
Female Athlete of the Week is Stacy Krebs of Liberty. The junior hitter led the Lions to the first state championship as they defeated champion Glenelg in 5 games. Stacy combined for 23 kills in the semifinal win over Owings Mills and the championship win over Glenelg. Our male athlete of the week is Aaron Henderson of Aberdeen. The senior quarterback linebacker threw 2 touchdown passes and made a critical interception to lead his team to its first playoff win in school history. Congratulations, Stacy, and congratulations, Aaron, and welcome to Replay.
Thank you.
Aaron, let's start with you. You've already got your state championship, and we'll go to Aaron after we talk to you. Great job by Liberty to win that state championship, beating Owings Mills in the semis, Glenelg in the championship. Talk to us about that week and how everything just came together for your team against 2 teams that were ranked higher than you.
I think it had a lot to do with our practices that week. We had really productive practices, and we felt like we got a lot better in those 4 days. And that really helped us in the Owings Mills game and Glenelg. Okay. Now,
you beat those 2 teams. Did you have the confidence you could beat those 2 teams all season? Was that something you built up over the season? Because I know you guys got 4 regulars back from last season, but you lost a 2-time Carroll County Player of the Year. Was that confidence you built, or was it already there?
Well, in the beginning of the season, we scrimmaged Glenelg, and we didn't do too well. We didn't do bad, but it was the first game that we ever played. So,
let me jump right. We're looking at B-roll. I'm sorry, highlights from that win over Glenelg. Please continue.
I think towards the end of the season, we just realized that we were good enough to play with Glenelg and to play with Owings Mills.
Right. Interesting story about this game against Glenelg. Last year, you guys watched tape of Mount Herb, and you lost in the semifinals to him. The coach on the bus ride to this game wanted you to watch tape of Glenelg. You guys initially didn't want to see it. You thought it was bad karma for you?
We're really superstitious. Before every game and before every practice, we do the same things. So if we lost the last time, we figured that we would lose this time.
Okay. But it paid off. It did happen this time, right? All right. One last thing before we get out of here. You're a junior. You also play basketball and lacrosse. How are those teams looking this season?
I think this season, basketball team will be pretty good. We're trying to look to win a regional championship because we haven't in a while. And lacrosse team's normally really strong, so hopefully we'll continue that this year.
Well, hopefully that state volleyball championship will sort of give you some momentum in those 2 seasons. Great. Aaron, on to you and Aberdeen and their quest for a state football championship. You guys are on to the state semifinals. We're going to go back a week, though, and talk about your win 23-20 over Edgewood, a game you scored the pass for 2 touchdowns to bring your team back from a 20-0 deficit. How did you guys feel when you were down 20-0 at halftime? What happened?
Well, at halftime, kind of got my team together. Just everybody was kind of sitting around. And, I just started thinking. I thought about I was watching Fear Factor earlier that week. And the guy was on there talking about cowboying up. He had a little saying called cowboy up. Just when a cowboy, that sounds like he doesn't have anything left inside of himself. He just digs down deep inside to find that one last thing. Right. I just told my teammates to find that inside themselves and bring it out in them.
Yeah, that was the Boston Red Sox rallying call for part of the postseason. Aberdeen 10-1 so far this season. Friday night, you guys beat Decatur 57-27 to advance to the state semifinals. You guys were only 4-6 last year. And I'm sorry, and we're also watching some highlights of your game last week against Edgewood. You guys were only 4-6 last year. What turned it around for you guys this season?
Just the hard work finally paid off. We were in the summer. We're in the weight room a lot, working hard. It just finally paid off for us. We finally came together as a team and had that chemistry together.
Now, I'll ask you the same question I asked Stacy. Did you guys feel like you had you were capable of getting to the state playoffs in the beginning, or is this something you built up over the season, momentum you sort of built?
It was something that we always kept in the back of our minds, but we never wanted to get ahead of ourselves. We always wanted to take it one game at a time. And, it's just something that was always there that we always worked towards, just to keep maintaining, keep working hard to get to that goal.
Okay. Aaron, as people read the Sun, they know you're the brother of E.J. Henderson. You signed to play football at Maryland. You play linebacker, but at Maryland, you plan to play quarterback, and you're pretty serious about playing quarterback. Is that correct?
Yes. I've had my heart set on playing quarterback since I was a freshman. Coming into high school, I got moved up to varsity to play quarterback. I told myself then I wanted to be a Division I quarterback, and I set my goals there. And I mean, what's the purpose of setting a goal if you're not going to reach it when it's right there? I can go ahead and grab it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Stacy, congratulations on your state championship. Aaron, congratulations on you guys being in the state semifinals. Good luck to you the rest of the way, and good luck to you when you're at Maryland. Good luck to you in your lacrosse and basketball endeavors the rest of the season. All right, great.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate
it. Now it's time for this week's On the Spot question. What's the biggest change in this year's football season? And our On the Spot segment today, high school sports reporter Lem Satterfield explained what has been the biggest change this season on the high school football gridiron.
If this were a year ago, we'd have one more week of the football season, the state championships. But thanks to football expansion, we have 2 more weeks of football. We have 8 state semifinal games coming up next week, followed by 4 championship games that will end at Ravens Stadium. Enjoy the next 2 weeks. They should be exciting.
Toyota, always a first choice for quality.
112 basketball wins. He sent 2 players, Warren Powers and Tommy Polley, to the NFL, and another, Sam Cassell, to the NBA. Congratulations to Pete.
For you. The Ravens talk about their shrinking margin of error, and they bring in a new player for their do-or-die stretch run. We'll tell you who it is. All of that, plus the victorious coaches of the 2 state championship Harford County high school football teams. It's all coming up at 10:50 on Sports Unlimited.
He has an... Yeah.
Hey, the O's want to grab another big name, or maybe 2. And it could happen real soon. We'll see how much it's all going to cost them. The numbers are mind-boggling. Plus, Brian Billick explains why he isn't too down about this Sunday's loss to Oakland. And both, that's right, both of Harford County's state championship coaches will join us in the studio. Sports Unlimited is now. All is quiet in the Camden Yards warehouse tonight, but then waiting does not make a lot of noise, does it? The O's are simply waiting for the phone to ring, with free agent shortstop Miguel Tejada already in the fold and set to meet area media tomorrow. The Orioles are waiting to hear from the other 3 big names they've made offers to, including this year's free agent plum, Vladimir Guerrero, but there could be a snag. ESPN's website's reporting that Guerrero has told friends he's concerned about the weather here, the lack of a sizable Latino community, and the small number of Spanish-speaking players on the Orioles. Again, according to ESPN.com, Guerrero says he'd rather play for Florida, but that's the problem. You see, the Marlins can't afford him. Here are the O's latest offers to all 3 remaining free agent superstars. Guerrero, 5 years, $65 million. Catcher Pudge Rodriguez, 3 years, $21 million. Another catcher, Javi Lopez, 3 years, $18 million. It's widely believed that whichever catcher accepts first will cause the O's to cut off negotiations with the other, and that's where things stand at this hour. Across town, a not-so-relaxing off day for the Ravens, who know their margin for error for making the playoffs has just about disappeared. Sunday's upset loss to Oakland pretty much took care of that. They know they have to win their remaining 2 games and hope Cincinnati loses one of theirs. If that happens, they win the AFC North and host a first-round playoff game. They also have an outside shot at a wild card, but the bottom line, they have to win their remaining 2 games and finish 10-6.
We've got 2 games left. And if we can play the way we're capable of and get to 10 wins, then some good things are going to happen.
If the Ravens do finish 10-6, history is on their side. 95% of the teams with that record have gone to the playoffs since the NFL went to the 16-game schedule back in 1978. And they brought in someone to help with a sudden lack of depth on special teams. The Carroll County Times is reporting that veteran linebacker T.J. Slaughter has been signed for the rest of the season. Slaughter, you'll remember, was released by Jacksonville earlier this season after brandishing a gun on some teenagers during a traffic dispute. He was then signed by Green Bay, who released him this week. Slaughter will be at practice tomorrow at Owings Mills. And Ravens defensive lineman Marquis Douglas has been named the team's recipient of the Ed Block Courage Award. Last year, he tore an ACL and missed the last 9 games. This year, he's been a different player. His 72 tackles and 2 sacks through 14 games are career highs. The Ed Block Courage Awards are set for March 16th. NBA, Jazz visiting Eddie Jordan's Wizards tonight at the MCI Center. First quarter, Jazz on the break. Andre Kirilenko, look at that hairdo. Finishes with a jam. He finished with 17 points. Flock of seagulls. But tonight was the Larry Hughes show. Second quarter, Hughes gets the open tray. See ya. Then in the fourth, Hughes gets to the lane, gets the tough one to fall. He led all scorers with 38 points, and the Wizards win one, 98-85. 87. Don't go away, because when we return, not one but both of Harford County's state champion coaches will join us in the studio to talk about their history-making seasons. Are you very happy to have them? On my far right is Joe Harbert, the head coach at Aberdeen High School, and sitting next to me, Joe Commander. I knew I'd do this, from Joppatown High School. Both of these guys won state championships last week, and it's not just a state championship. It was the first time two Harford County teams had ever done something like this. As great as a state championship is, that's got to add to it, I would think. Joe, what do you think?
It makes it special, you know, and not only for us, it was the first time in our history that we ever won a playoff game, and, you know, to take it as far as we did to win a state championship. And the fact that we both did it, it's awesome. It was a great experience.
Now, Greg, you guys played during the season, and you guys beat them.
We kind of caught them, I think, early on in the year before they got their everything rolling. So we beat them, and then they didn't lose since then. So it kind of worked out well for both of us. That set the tone for us because we were 0-2, and that kept them, you know, got them refocused. So in the end, it worked out where both of us were able to play for the championship.
Anybody that coaches wants to win a championship. When you do it, Joe, is it as sweet as you think it's going to be?
It was like after the game, they asked me how I felt, and I said it was couldn't describe it. I mean, it was a great feeling. You know, I was proud of the kids, the effort they gave. You know, the seniors we had for 4 years, they worked their tails off, and, you know, just to see them stay together when, you know, it didn't look good early on in that game, and to pull it out and win. It was a great win.
We're looking at Brent Cash there from Joppatown, and what a great player. And I remember we talked to him after the game, and he's just real matter of fact. Nothing rattles this kid. Oh, here you go. That's what I wanted you to see. How did that feel?
It felt great. I didn't care how cold it was, but, you know, getting the water dumped on you, because they wanted to do it for the past 3 playoff games. We kept saying, wait till the next one, wait till the next one, and then there was finally this one. So it felt great, and it was an enjoyable thing. And as you said about Brent, he's just been a great player, and he's been our leader along with the other players that we had. And just sneaking in, like I said, at 4 and 5, getting into the playoffs, and then going on a run really made it extra special.
That's what it's all about, getting on a run and getting some momentum, right?
That's what it was. It was 4 and 5, and then everybody still kept picking you to lose. You shouldn't be in there, and then well, you got lucky. But I think after the Dunbar game, beating Dunbar, 21-0, that really got everybody's attention that, you know, we were a good football team, and we knew that, and the kids knew that. And then, you know, winning against Bell was another great feeling for the kids. It
got my attention, I'll tell you that. We don't have video of Joe Harbert getting his bath because our photographer had to leave early. You guys played well into the night. You're down. How bad were you down in that game?
We were down 25-7 with about 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
Wow.
Before we scored.
Of course, when you have Aaron Henderson, you can come back, right? How good is that kid?
He's a great kid, and I tell you what, the sad thing is he was pretty hobbled in that game. I mean, he could barely step on his ankle. Halftime, he's icing it up and retaping it. We didn't know if he was going to be able to go, and I just told him, I said, you let me know if you can't go. And he said, Coach, you don't even need to ask that, you know. So it's been a privilege coaching him for 4 years. You know, he's been on varsity for 4 years, and he'll have a great career at Maryland.
Everybody wanted him to play linebacker. Maryland was the only school that said he could play quarterback, right?
They're going to give him a chance at it, you know. And I tell you what, people have doubted him his whole career, said he couldn't do it on the high school level. I'd never doubt that kid. He works his butt off, and he's a great kid. You know, I don't doubt him.
Now, Greg, I'm listening to you guys before we came out here. You guys are friends also. I mean, you're in there joking around. You're talking to each other. This has got to be great, I would think, for the two of you.
I think so. We're on a committee, too, for the county, working for service learning coordinators for our building. So we do some things also other than coaching, believe it or not. And it's a great friendship. We were teasing, too, that, you know, the game was so pivotal. We played earlier in the year. But we've said this numerous times. We got to see them as we came off the field after our win, and they greeted us, and then we stayed on purpose to wait till Aberdeen came up because we wanted them to know that we were backing them because it was Harford County. And that's something a lot of the coaches talked about they'll never forget, and a lot of the players will never forget. So we're friends, but we still have to play each other against next year, so and we'll still be competitors again.
That would be quite a game to be at, I would think. You know? That'll do it for this edition of Sports Unlimited. I want to thank both of you for being here.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Entertainment Weekly. Sarah Caldwell joins us now live from the newsroom with a look at this controversial issue. Sarah?
Rod, prior to the ruling, players had to be out of high school 3 years to enter the NFL draft. If it's upheld, they don't even have to wait till their 19th birthday. Maurice Clarett ruled eligible for the NFL draft, a decision that's become the topic of conversation nationally and here at home. If it's upheld, the door just opened for not only 20-year-olds like Clarett to go pro, but teenagers.
It gives a whole lot of kids an opportunity, to choose a different path if they may, just as well in every other sport. You see somebody broke the rule for LeBron a long time ago.
But can the path of LeBron James in the NBA be compared to life in the NFL? Future Terp Aaron Henderson says he's concerned about the picture players might get.
I don't know if it's exactly a good standard to set, because football is a very violent sport, a very violent game. And, a lot of times, to be grown men out there, some people aren't physically ready to play at that level.
Unlike most young players, Aaron's been able to benefit from the advice of his brother EJ, who spent the last year with the Minnesota Vikings, and his coach at Aberdeen, Joe Harbert.
We seriously advised not to do it unless the kid was just unbelievable. It's a big jump going from the high school level to college, and then just about the same type of jump from college to NFL. It's very difficult, emotionally, physically, mentally.
As far as the NFL's take on this, the league has asked that no one within the NFL comment on the issue until after the appeal. Coming up in sports, Jerry has more from Aaron Henderson on why he chose Maryland over an NFL shortcut. Live in the newsroom, Sarah Caldwell, WBAL TV 11 News.
And that includes Terp recruit Aaron Henderson, the Annapolis High star who will follow his brother's path to Maryland. Doesn't necessarily plan on following his brother's path to the defense. E.J. Henderson became an All-American linebacker with the Terps. Aaron Henderson, who played quarterback and linebacker in high school, says that despite everyone projecting him at linebacker, he wants to make his mark at Maryland as a quarterback. Henderson loves what Ralph Regin does with the offense at Maryland, and that carries more weight with Aaron than what his brother did at linebacker.
That means a lot, because he has a lot of experience. He has a very good understanding of the game. Coming from the NFL and, coaching at college now, and everywhere he's going, he's been like an offensive genius, I guess you want to call him. Down at Georgia Tech, he did a lot of things down there. And at Maryland, he's already accomplished a lot. So, I'm just feeling privileged to have an opportunity to play for him.
Star at Aberdeen, he will be a star at Maryland, no matter whether Ralph Regin decides to use him at quarterback, at linebacker, or C, all of the above. He's that good of an athlete.
Okay, thanks. Tom will be back with a look at your...